Hello, welcome back to the Luxe Budget. Today we are doing a pairing video to go along with our Menetou-Salon 2022. As a reminder, this is a Sauvignon Blanc wine, so it's made with Sauvignon Blanc grapes, grown in the Loire Valley region right across from Sancerre. This is super herbaceous. It's got notes of pineapple and citrus on the palate. And it is such a funky alternative to a Sauvignon Blanc. I think most of the time I'm used to it being very crisp, very acidic, and this does have some acid in it, but it is just, she's a little bit more complicated. She's a little bit different from your standard Sauvignon Blanc. So we're gonna start off with a sip. I was so impressed with this wine. It's a great alternative to Sancerre. Grown very close together. It's got, I think I said before, like a grassy, herbaceous note, almost like petrol, or like a bell pepper. It's, there's like a sharpness to it, like you would get from like a green pepper or from like a gasoline smell. And it's gasoline in a good way. It's just that like, that biting element to it. There's no bite on the palate. When you're tasting it, it's very, I don't want to say mild. Mild is the wrong word, but it is very smooth. There doesn't feel like there's much resistance between my mouth and the wine. It goes down like a dream, and it's more pineapple than it is citrus. So it doesn't have that very watery mouthfeel to it. And it's just very balanced. I feel like this is great for spring weather, because it's just not quite acidic enough. It's not bringing that full summer flavor to it. For the pairing, we are cheating today, and I went and got some takeout from Armitage Ale House. I got their trout Caesar salad, which I think the smoked trout Caesar salad, I think the biggest difference that they have between this and like a normal Caesar is that instead of putting anchovies in the dressing, they add a really finely chopped smoked trout into the dressing itself, and then rely on the parmesan and the egg yolk and the oil to create like that dressing feel. So I don't taste any anchovies in it. Let's see how it pairs with the wine. I'm really curious if maybe this should go with like a more acidic wine. But this has a real creaminess to it, both from the smoked fish and also from the Parmesan. So I feel like the fact that this isn't so acidic and so crisp of a Sauvignon Blanc will work well with this. If you live in Chicago and you have an opportunity to go to Armitage Ale House, I would highly recommend you do so. It is very difficult to get a dinner reservation, but we managed to get in there for lunch today. And it's just such a cute vibe. Maybe not for like a mid-afternoon, but maybe like a late lunch. It's got like Parmesan crisps, then actual Parmesan cheese, some of that fish, pretty finely chopped romaine. Very tasty. All right, let's see. Okay, see, that's interesting. The juxtaposition between the creamy and like, I guess umami, like sort of salty flavors from the fish and the Parmesan in the salad make this wine taste a lot more acidic, a lot more crisp than it does on its own. So I think maybe because your palate's drawn down to that like almost gamey, not gamey, that's the wrong word, the smoked fish, salty umami Parmesan flavors in the salad, the juxtaposition just makes this taste a lot, I wouldn't even call it like your normal Sauvignon Blanc, because it still doesn't taste acidic. It tastes a little bit more crisp. I would almost put it more along the lines of like a slightly more acidic Chablis, which is made from Chardonnay grapes, but it's a little bit more mineral, a little bit brighter than your typical Chardonnay that you would think of. It's a good pairing. Not my absolute favorite, but I think that these go well together. it's just such a, like, it's such a neutral, delicious wine, but it's interesting. If you get a chance to try it, let me know what you think in the comments, because this to me is like exactly the kind of wine that I'm typically going for. I want it to be interesting. I don't want it to be too much of a battle when I'm tasting it. And I want it to be refreshing. And I think that's why I don't love like your heavier reds. I don't love, I'm not a huge fan of like a Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't like Cabernet Franc. It's not that I don't like them. They're just never my preference because I don't like how much they bring my palate down. I'm more partial towards lighter flavors. And so I think like a Beaujolais or a Pinot Noir or something like that are a little bit more in line with what I like when it comes to a red wine. Okay, we're gonna do one more bite. Looking cute about it, as usual. That flavor is so subtle in the salad. The smoked trout, they don't put too much in. So it's not like Caesar salad with smoked trout. It's like Caesar salad with some smoked trout. And I feel like you know what I mean, so I'm not gonna over-explain that. I'm about to go to the Art Institute with my friend. We're having a little bit of a bouge day. And I love that for me. All right, last sip. I like what it does to the wine. It makes it a little bit more crisp, a little bit more acidic. I think if I were to do it again, I would pair a slightly more acidic wine with this salad, but this is a good match. And again, Menetou-Salon, that's the region that it's grown in. And honestly, no notes. It's good stuff. This is a good pairing. And I didn't have to cook it, so sometimes that's nice to just get what's gonna taste good and not have to do it yourself. That's part of just figuring out when to budget, when to ball. Thank you for joining me. If you try this wine, let me know what you think of it, because I'm curious if the people watching have a similar preference for wine as I do. Or if you like something completely different and you have something to recommend for me to try out that's a little bit outside of what I've done so far, let a girl know. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Cheers.